Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reasonably Effective Podcast. I'm 10 Types, joined as always by Uncommon Fossil.
Yep. Hello. And the second time is the charm, right? The first time you started, and I said, wait, because somehow the button was disappeared on my
Yeah, the
screen for
button
whatever
moved,
reason.
that's what it was. And today we're bringing the energy, literally, because we're starting things off talking about energy. We're talking about Stellar Crown. We talked about it last week before the set was out, but now the set's out. We've each played with it some. We have not really talked to each other either. Normally we do some, but we haven't really talked that much this week, so we're going to be kind of learning what the other person has been playing. But the new energy arts are here. First of all, so I'll just describe it real quick. It's kind of this like crystally pattern is how I describe it. But Uncommon Fossil, do you like the new energy art, like aesthetically, or not?
Um, I'm happy with it. I think, look, the energy arts for the most part are pretty not great that you get that you can choose from for free.
You don't like
So
them?
most of well, honestly, I don't like the default I usually get is this the triangle shape one. I find that one aesthetically
Oh,
unappealing
yeah, with a
itself.
yellow border.
Yeah, the one that's normally the second one on the list for me, which is just a circle with a circle with a glow around it. I like that one. It's just nice and plain. So that's commonly my default one when I wanted to take the effort to change it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the new one, I personally like it. It's nothing like insane. I mean, it's like more interesting. But anyways, so you were saying before recording that like the energy gets weird when creating decks, right?
But selecting the type, you mean? Because yeah, the default art just seems to randomly change when I make decks
Yeah.
or
So.
import
Mhm.
decks. It's all a little odd.
Yeah, so I have a list here, and I opened up a deck. This is, well, I'll say the deck in a moment, but if you're watching it, you can see the deck. But I have grass energy and lightning energy and water energies, and all those are energies of like when I open up the deck, and when I see it in the deck builder, those three have the new art, which is the one I used in the deck. And then all the
Yep.
other basic energies have the old art, the one you were referring to with like the triangle with like the three points. It looks like
Yeah,
yeah.
one up and the others to the bottom corners.
Yep. But anyway, oh, and the energy is not centered on that either, right? The triangle one, it's very much in the bottom
E-
half, right?
Correct. Yeah, I guess and the other ones it's centered pretty much.
Yeah, and
So
the new ones. But anyways, so
yeah.
and let's start with that deck. I think. Do you know what the deck with lightning energy, grass energy, and water energy is?
Lightning grass, water. Wait, is that the that's the Terapagos?
Yeah, it is Trapagos. Which so have you played Trapagos EX yet?
I have the deck. I've made one video so far, and the deck had Terapagos EX. It wasn't a Terapagos EX deck, but it
Okay.
played that, and I've done it with Pal. I played it with Palkia also, which is
Okay.
kind of also I haven't. I've done a couple of variations of it, but I haven't played Terapagos as
Okay.
its own thing.
So have you played against Trapagos EX, like just Trapagos EX deck?
Um, I'm not sure that I have, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't. I've been busy. I haven't played a ton of games. I played a number of decks, but just a few games each. So I'm honestly trying to figure out my deck, but I don't think I've seen plain Terapagos. Honestly, I've seen a lot of stage two decks mostly.
Yeah, yeah. So I've seen like one or two Trapghost decks. I haven't seen a ton either. I've been playing it though. There's like two ways to play. Well, I don't know. There's two ways to play it that aren't like Palkia or other things like that. But so Trapghost EX it does damage based on bench Pokemon, and it has the three
Right.
energy attack. Presumably you said you played with Palkia, so you didn't play Lightning Energy, right?
No, I'm pretty sure that was just water energy and yeah, just water, not even double
Oh,
turbo.
no, and no grass either.
No, I just played water. It was a 3/3 Palkia, and I at my final build, I'm looking. I just had one Terapagos. It was just to
Okay.
fill out the bench.
Yeah. But Tropico CX, I've really liked. You can play it very tankily though. And there you play the Bouffalant to reduce damage. You play the
Right.
Knocked Owl to search for trainers, and you play Fan Rotom to search this into your Knocked Owls, and then Fan Rotom and Bouffalant as well.
Yes.
But and then you can do 70 for one, which I've loved this attack. You said you were playing in stage twos. What stage two decks are they? I assume the one's Dragapult, right?
Yeah, Dragapult and Charizard, is still
Yeah.
around too.
I've been seeing a ton of Dragapult. Probably like over half my games have been Dragapult, I think. Maybe not quite that much, but I've been seeing it as the main deck. Is that the main deck you're seeing? Or have you been seeing like as
Yeah,
much Charizard?
I've seen more Dragon Ball. I mean, Dragon Ball's getting a lot of love, I would say, and I've tried it out myself. So I will say, it's with obviously got a boost here, and there are a number of people that are talking about it as getting a huge boost, which I don't think it's. I think it's getting a little overhyped, but we'll get to that later, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But I've been loving Fan Rotom. It one shots Dreepies. It one shot. I mean, it one shots anything Buddy Buddy Pop and searchable. And so, well, presumably there may be some weird exceptions, but it's really fun. You do need a stadium in play, which is the list I've been playing with Area Zero Underdepths. Play three.
Yes,
Your Palkia deck, does that play three?
I play four in part. I play four.
Okay, so did you always play four, or did you start with like three,
I
or did
don't
you start with four?
remember. I might have had two Terapagos and three stadiums, and then I decided I needed the fourth stadium. Partly because I don't have any stadium search in the deck, and you might
Oh
not
yeah.
either, right? Stadiums are hard to
Well,
search
no, you
for.
do. Wait, do you play Noctowl?
Oh, that's true. It plays Noctowl. I apologize. It has Noctowl. It doesn't play no item searches for it though.
Yeah, well, I have so I'll quickly say with the Turbo Trap because you have Glass Trumpet. We'll probably talk about that later. I don't know. I'm not sure if I will, but I think you will.
Yeah, I
And
will.
so you have Colossus Tenacity. I've been loving Colossus Tenacity in Terapagos EX because it allows you to search for your stadium and your special energy, which are two of the most important things. And
Yeah.
also, like, I don't know, I've just been finding that deck to be. So I just grinded to Arceus. I've recorded some videos, then grinded to Arceus, and then recorded a few more from Masters, right? When you get rank reset,
Right.
one rank down, I think. And so or one like league down. And then Trapgos EX, I've been finding really good with the Boufflons and Bravery Charms to be tanky, as well as you have the Colossus Tenacity feels really good in the deck because it gets, as I said, the Stadium and the Special Energy, including
Yeah.
I have four Double Turbos and one Jet Energy. So Jet
Okay.
Energy is there for the Fan Rotom to attack turn one, or not turn one, really any turn. But
Right.
yeah, I've been loving Fan Rotom. It's my favorite card from this set, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, I've played Fan Rotom, I think, in a couple decks. That my Palkia deck is the one I called up, and that plays Fan Rotom because it gets you the Hoot Hoot and the Noctowl. And I learned early, although yeah, and I'm playing two Fan Rotoms. It might have been also at one point I might have had one Fan Rotom, and I realized it was really important to get off turn one, so I might have dropped the second copy of that. I'm not, I forget the iterations, but yeah, the Fan Call, you search for what, three colorless Pokemon 100 HP or less, so that which is nice. And the 100 HP is an important number both for the Noctowl towel as well as other things as well. So yeah,
Y-
a very good card. Only Billy only works your first turn. So,
Yeah.
but then the 70 HP attack is it's that's not a bad number to do at all. You have to, as you mentioned, you have to have a stadium in play. So
Yeah, does not
um
need to be your stadium though. So if your opponent has one,
right.
that'll work. And I feel like people are playing a bunch of stadiums and not that much lost vacuum right now, and aren't like
Right.
lost vacuum your stadium all the time. So late game you can, or like mid to late game you can use Fan Rotom from your opponent's stadium. Have you been attacking with Fan Rotom much or not really?
Yeah, I have. A lot of times, yeah, like yes, especially turn one. If ideally you can target, like if you're in like a deck, say that slaps down one Pidgeot or one Pidgey. If you can target down that Pidgey on that your first turn, you're loving life, right? Or if they get down one Charmander or one what's it, Dreepy,
Yeah.
take it out and you're great. So it's yeah, I like it in the deck. It's a nice attack. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing, I said I play Colossus Tenacity. Of course, there's the Kyurem, which counters Colossus Tenacity, and I have not run into that yet. I don't think. I don't think I've been hit by that yet, which is nice. It's not like the end. Well, it's not good, but it's not like knocking out all your Pokemon probably because you do have the Bouffant to reduce damage, which reduces by 60 all your colorless Pokemon if you have two Bouffant in play.
Mhm.
It is like kind of awkward. I actually have found myself struggling some with bench space. I don't know.
Okay.
You'll talk about bench space probably and some other things with your Palkia deck as we get into that more. But
Yeah.
Boufflant does take up two slots, and then you have all the knockdowns. I do play Pidgeot EX as well. But yeah, I've been loving Trapghost. I feel like we don't need to talk too much more about just Trapghost though, right?
No, and it is the deck you get on the free battle pass, and it's probably the best. It's the best attacking Pokemon in the set, I think. And just because it's a basic Terra, and you get the stadium to expand the bench, you can, and it attacks for colorless energy. Other decks that want big benches can just slap it in as well. So Do like it, and I haven't played that. I have a list of 8 decks that I want to get to soon, and the Terapagos with Buffalant is the top deck in that list for me. So
Yeah, and does that like include Glass Trumpet? I don't know if it's a list or if it's just
I
like
haven't put together a list yet, but I think it will. I've been playing Glass Torpet and some other decks though.
okay, yeah. I feel like
Um,
Glass Trumpet's like kind of fun. I have also been playing it a little bit, not like a ton, as I said, mostly playing Trap Ghost and that does not play Glass Trumpet. But it
yeah.
feels like awkward if you're playing like, Research or Squawkabilly EX. Are you playing either of those in the Glass Trumpet decks?
I think I might be in one. We'll see as we take a look later on. So, I I don't remember now, honestly.
Okay. I feel like you kind of need things to go your way, though, with a Glass Trumpet. I mean, you don't need things to go perfectly, but it has
Yeah.
like the Lost Zone aspect where you need them in a certain order. It's not the same exact idea, but it's not completely different either. But what deck do
Right.
you want to talk about next?
Well, I'll
What
mention
were you
my
saying?
Palkia deck is since I brought that up and that kind of ties in. You know what Palkia does? It does 60 plus 20 more for each bench Pokemon. It has the great ability to accelerate energies. So, obviously Terapagos or any deck you want with what's this silly stadium called? It's a good stadium.
Area Zero Ender Depths. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a silly name, I think I will say. But
I guess
anyway,
it's not like the weirdest name. It's kind of long, but
it's a long name, and I mean, I guess I don't know how it fits in with the TCG
yeah,
or the
the
anime,
video
but
game. Yeah.
it's yeah, the video game. Sorry, but
Yeah, Area Zero
it
is a place in the video game, maybe the
okay.
anime too, but yeah.
And I don't know the other. So that deck, I'm playing Fan Rotom. I am playing the Noctowl Hoot Hoot. So I have been playing that, and that's very good. Um, I don't know if you want to talk about what I'll say is the important thing. And I tried it in some. Obviously, you need to have to use Noctowl. It's not as powerful as it's better than Drizzle in that it gets 2 trainers instead of one, but you have to have a Terra Pokemon in play, right? So if you're playing like an evolution deck where the Terra is an evolution, I think the Noctowl. I tried that early on, and I think I was like, no, it's just not good enough at that point because once you're set, you have to get set up for the Noctowl works, and then it's not good. That's my experience there.
Yeah.
Have you tried it in any evolution type decks?
No, I don't think so. I played a few. I played some Dragapult and I played another one. Um, yeah, and I don't believe I have. I mean, it seems kind of awkward, especially with like a stage two. Part of the idea would be to like get the rare candies with knocked owls, but then in order to get the knocked owl, you also already need the stage two in play. So like that doesn't work. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it either. I feel like you could do it in a deck like that, but then you also need a copy of like Trapghost EX or whatever. So you said you played one Trapghost, right?
In that, yeah, in the Palkia
Do
deck.
you play another Terra?
Yes, I do. I play a Wellspring Mask Ogerpon.
Okay.
Because that's one of the things. All of the Ogre Ponds, the EXs are Terras, and they all bring something different. So the idea of having a basic Terra is good, and the Ogre Ponds are all pretty good, right? And if you're playing Grass Energy, just having
Yeah.
the Teal Mask makes things good. Right now, you can get all 4 of those in play. We'll probably might talk more about that later on. I don't know
What? Oh,
about
the
the
Teal
the Ogre
Mask?
Ponds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. And so you said you didn't play Double Turbo?
in the not in the Palkia deck.
Oh,
No,
actually, I have my Talkia and I don't play it either. But I feel like that could be good with the Wellspring Mask Ogre Pontiacs for like trapping stuff. But I guess that's not really much of your game plan, like at all.
right. I mean, this deck is just built really to be a Palkia deck. And then the Terapagos, the Wellspring Mask Ogre Pond is partly support for the bench, but also obviously having you can only really essentially attack with it with the big attack once, right? Because
Yeah.
without double turbo, because so but it's a nice little option there, I think. So the 1-1 split there in the list, but it's largely a Palkia deck. But Palkia it gives it new life to Palkia, I think. So I it's okay, is what I'll say. My thoughts on that. It's not. I don't think it's the best deck around, but it's certainly viable and gives it a boost.
Yeah. And so you've been playing against a lot of Charizard and Dragapult. I assume you've played against
Yeah.
one of those at least once with the deck. How were you able to like one shot any stage twos with
The
Palkia?
state. I don't think so. I don't think I did. I mean, it's tough to, right? It's still very tough to do that. So, with that a game plan like that, possibly, and that plays Radiant Greninja as you expect as well. So the something like a Radiant Greninja hitting 2 things at some point could help clean up the game. Or you really want to get the Fan Rotom to get a prize over the course of the game. And then obviously, since they're an evolution deck, then you can take out 2 stage 2s. You don't need to get through 3 stage 2s at that point. You take out 2 pre-evolutions, and which makes things more manageable.
Yeah. So and then you said you played 4 stadium. So the stadium, so you've played with this a bunch, right? The stadium, I imagine you've seen people play
Yeah,
it.
I've done a lot of stuff with the stadium. That's
So
been the card I focused on the most.
I feel like it's in live, it's kind of wonky. Like,
In what way? So I don't
so
know my.
there's two ways. So the one is this might be a glitch. Like when I have I mean maybe I don't know. There's Air Zero under the ups in play, and then my only Terra is knocked out. Or maybe they
Right.
bump it or whatever. For some reason now I need to discard Pokemon, and I do that, and then like my timer, and then like I do that, and then my timer keeps running down for a little longer, and it like I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe like my Wi-Fi isn't super good right now. I don't know though. I feel like that isn't it's feeling a little weird. But then the other thing is I don't like there's the desync issues between like when stuff happens, right? Like
yes.
so it's kind of
Yeah,
weird. Like it
I've
seems like benches like shrink and expand not exactly when I'm expecting it to. Um it's kind of weird. Like um either it seems like a little too late or like a little too early. Um,
yeah, no, I've had some weird sync issues at times too, where I was like a half a turn ahead. Like the game was telling me almost a half a turn ahead what was going to happen before, like, it seemed like the game was telling me I was going first before I'd even called the coin flip and stuff. I don't think that was quite it, but it's been the time sync has gotten pretty wonky at times from my experience.
yeah, and to me I feel like that's been like I've been seeing some like weird stuff with Aero Zero Underdepths where either it's like hanging or it's I don't know. But anyways, I definitely think it's a really fun card. So what else have you been doing with this? You said you did some
All right.
expanded stuff. Or are we
Yeah,
gonna?
well, yeah, okay. Well, we can do the expanded things first. So I had 2 decks because one of the things that expanded up, that was the wrong. Got to go to casual, and then I have to click expanded beta to get there. And this is obviously the live expanded beta, which doesn't have the what
Skyfield.
XY
Oh yeah.
and whatever. There's two big
Yeah, black and white.
settings
Black and
in
white
black
actually.
and white. Right, Skyfield Stadium, which allows you just to have 8 Pokemon on the bench. It's a better stadium for expanding the bench, but that there's obviously a number of decks that like to take advantage of that. So I decided to take a look at Skyfield because it kind of replaces Skyfield in a sense. You have to have a Terra Pokemon, of course, but that's okay. So I was taking a look and this deck. I took inspiration by one of the goats of
Me.
online YouTubers,
That's
and it's
gotta be.
not 10 types, but
Oh,
it's Andrew Mahone.
who?
And this is an expanded deck he took many years, several years ago, back when they actually played expanded
Oh, is your
tournaments.
voice okay?
No, my voice is not okay at the moment. Let me take a cough drop
Okay.
for a second.
Yeah.
So
But one thing I do want to say is Skyfield versus this. You said Skyfield's better. It's like objectively better because like it allows you to do more stuff, but it's a stadium, so it's two-way. So in some ways, I feel like Area Zero Underdepths might be better because your opponent might not be able to get any value off of it. Um,
right now, one of the things I've run into issues with the stadium, the areas you're under depth, is if I get 4 Pokemon and I need to expand my bench, I can't play a 5th Pokemon on the bench until I have the Terra. And if I need to get draw Pokemon, I can't fill up the bench and I can't play them to draw Pokemon. Like
yeah.
at
Oh yeah,
times
that's
I've had that issue. Like, okay, I can play Squawkabilly to try to set up my turn, or I could play another like Pidgey down.
yeah.
So that's an issue I've run into. I guess you've had that too.
Yeah, with the well, I guess kind of with the Trapco CX deck, you want obviously you want Trapco CX, but then you want probably Pidgey to Noctowl or Toot Toots, Fanrotom, and then and then you obviously need the Trapco. So that's 5 Pokemon. So unless you don't have the Stadium in play, you can't get 2 Boufflants then. So you kind of want 2 Boufflants. Um, obviously you need 2 Boufflants, not just one. Otherwise it doesn't do anything. So you want 2 Boufflants,
Hmm.
2 Hoot Hoots, a Pidgey, Fan Rotom, presumably you need that, and then you want Trapagos as well, and then you have 2 more bench slots if you have the Stadium in play. But if you don't have the Stadium in play, then you can't play all those Pokemon, so you just usually don't
Yeah.
play Boufflant early. But yeah, so you don't want like I don't know that's why only 3 stadiums. Like I usually hold off on playing the stadium until I'm actually attacking and getting value off of it, because
Okay.
even though getting extra bench Pokemon is nice, if I ever run out of stadiums, then that's potentially a really big issue.
Right. Whereas I've opted for 4 stadiums, which then I can play. I'm not so afraid playing one down turn 1 because I shouldn't run out. I could obviously, and I've seen my opponent playing Chaotic Swell on turn 1 before me, and that obviously makes me very unhappy because I don't play. I don't. Oh, I do play Field Blower, but if I don't
Okay.
draw into that, I got to burn a stadium. So this deck, it's an expanded deck. It's a colorless deck outside of like a couple support Pokemon, and the energy it uses, it uses instead of double turbo, it uses double colorless. It uses water energy. I don't know why I got it because I'm silly, but and then it plays triple acceleration energy, and it's a VMAX deck. So you have a guess on that?
Wait, so is it a water VMAX or is it a colorless VMAX?
It's a colorless VMAX.
Is it
So
it's
triple
not
acceleration
Cramorant, right? Or is it Cramorant?
it is not Cramorant. It's one that I honestly didn't remember was in the game. I gotta say, so that's
Um,
all makes it more fun too.
can I have it? You said it's a VMAX?
It's a VMAX. Yeah, it's one of the most favorite or least favorite decks in standard right now. Not in the VMAX, but it's a basic Pokemon.
What?
It's Snorlax VMAX.
Oh, wait, Snorlax. Oh yeah, that deck. I forgot about that deck. How much does it
See,
do?
it does 60 plus 30 more for each of your bench Pokemon. So it needs the big bench, right? It was played with Skyfield Stadium. It's 340 HP, so that's very nice.
Yeah.
And of course, as a colorless, you have some more. You have besides, you have the healing option, right? You
Sharon's
have
Care.
Sharon's Care
Yep.
to get it up, so that's very nice. You can attack, and if you're you can use so you can heal with it. So it plays a mix of energy. I played the water energy because I decided to go with my old favorite Melanie as a supporter too. Then you can get a Melanie and a double turbo and attack that way. So playing some Terapagos, which obviously is a decent attacker, some Snorlax, playing Blissey EX too, so I can move some energy around. Getting
Yep.
getting a brilliant deck here. So
Yeah, that seems nice and consistent.
it didn't go well. I'll tell you that.
What engine did you have? I feel like without the Blissey EX, that seems pretty solid.
A Cinccino engine.
Okay. I feel
That's
like
what
you could
that's what
use like
Andrew Mahone had, but maybe there's probably a better engine for it.
yeah, Cinccino's like it's not a bad engine, but it's not like that good. I would just wondering, do you play level ball? Or wait, no, you play the fan rotom, right? So
Actually, no, I don't because it plays the Dunsparce, and then it plays because of the Blissey, it plays Chansey, which you can't get. So
yeah, it does get the
just what
Cinchinos though. I feel like that's like good. Wait, it plays the
it could
Dunsparce
play
or just
that.
the basic?
Sorry, just Dunsparce.
Okay.
I guess I could maybe should do Dunsparce into Dunsparce for an engine. I wonder if
Maybe. I don't know. That seems like kind of weird. I feel like
I took a deck, and obviously a bunch of as any expanded deck, since a lot of the cards still aren't legal in format, right? In the live beta. So I was trying to replace things, and I ended up with this weird deck.
yeah, I
to
feel
do
like you
things.
still could do Noctowl. I mean, Noctowl's good, right? And then you probably have it.
Yeah.
How many Terras do you play?
I'm just playing the two. I play 2 Terapagos. And
Okay,
that's it.
so I feel like that's like not that hard to get into play. Then you have Fan Rotom, and then you can go for like not you can do like the same stuff as Trapagos, but then also have Snorlax
Yeah.
VMAX. Like
And
I don't know.
maybe I should drop the Blissey.
Yeah,
I
Blissey
gotta
seems
think.
kind of bad. Like, I mean, it's a fun card. It's not a bad attacker, but I feel like it's kind of like
Right.
similar to Snorlax VMAX. It doesn't hit as hard, but it
Right.
also doesn't give up 3 prizes because VMAXs give up 3 prizes. I bet there are people in standard who play like just standard now who like don't really know that because they haven't played with any VMAXs because no one's playing with VMAXs now. But that's kind of bad to give up 3 prizes, obviously. Oh, random thing. Speaking of giving up 3 prizes, Briere is glitched. Yay.
Is it? I haven't I haven't played it.
I've
I don't
heard.
think I have. Okay.
So we'll talk about it later. But yeah.
Okay. So one of the things I was thinking with the Blissey, and I didn't do in this deck, but for an expanded deck, do the Blissey EX and do Cheryl. There, that heals off the evolution Pokemon, but it loses the energy, right? So Blissey, move the energies around, heal. I was thinking of trying that too.
Oh, in standard, there's a new Doshbun EX as well. I assume you have not played that.
I haven't done that. No, right? The Doxbun, it's a stage 1, right?
Yeah.
Or
How
it's
do I
a stage
spell
2.
this? No, it's a stage 1. How do I?
And when you play it down, it
God.
right? It's about playability. That heals all your
Yeah.
evolution Pokemon.
Yeah, it's
and
the same
discards the
as
energy.
Cheryl. Yeah, on play. So yeah, discard all or heal all evolution Pokemon, discard energy from those. So yeah, that's like kind of cool. I don't know if it's actually like better than Cheryl. It's probably not, but in like standard you could do it. Um, so is that the only
Yeah,
Blissey deck you played?
it is. Yeah. So
Okay.
there was that, and then but not the only expanded deck. The other expanded deck was one then the deck which I got inspiration because I played against this deck, and this is again taking has the Tropicos, and then taking advantage of the fact that you can now just fill up your bench with 4 Mask Ogerpon EXs, right? Which is good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You can play a lot of grass energy and all that stuff. And then what do you do for an attacker? You play Serena V.
Love. Wait, but why do you play Teal Master upon EX for that?
Well, just for some engine, and
Oh, do you
you
energy
know,
switch? Is that the idea?
I didn't build it properly,
How
and
did
I
you get the
just kind
energy
of
on Serena V?
well, that's a problem. It's you can't get a ton of energy onto it.
Also, what Pokemon did you have?
Like
Like to
you need 2 energy, right? So that's what energy, just grass, because you need to hit grass often with the Ogerpon,
yeah,
right?
but how
To
do you get
accelerate.
the energy on? You said you don't use energy switch.
Well, that was a problem.
I feel like energy switch would have been like good there.
I play 2 Raihan. Don't forget
Yeah. Oh,
our
so
old
Serena
favorite
V, if you
card,
don't
right?
know, it does 20 for 2 grass, then you discard any number of your bench Pokemon, does 40 more damage for each Pokemon you discard it in this way. So this can
Yeah.
one shot pretty much anything. Although if you're one shotting Charizard, yeah, well no, actually, this probably one shots everything without discarding all your bench Pokemon. If you just discard 7, um,
Right. At least keep your Terapagos, which was the one I play.
yeah,
Well,
oh wait, no, you need to
actually I
discard
don't need Terapagos. And Terapagos is
8
a
for
secondary attacker, but what was that? You need to get
you need to discard
discard
8
8.
for yeah for
Oh, which is your bench.
yeah, which is your all your bench to knock out a Dragapult EX. But whatever, that's fine. So it's not fine,
It needs
but
energy
yeah,
switch, but it's an interest. I think that's not a terrible deck idea.
yeah. But then well, I don't think it's a terrible deck idea. What Poke do you play Gengar? Like the Gengar from in Standard?
No,
What do you
no,
play? Like what Poke? Oh, do you play Giratina?
no, I don't really. No, what are you trying to make it too good for?
I feel like you can make the deck like good, like actually
Yeah,
good.
this one probably needs to. I needed to redo the deck probably, but I just quit it.
Oh,
I
can
like
you
it
send me
plays
the
the.
list? I want to see the list, like in Discord.
Sure, I'll do it now. So, um, the other deck, the standard deck, that one I wouldn't mind getting some help on because my standard deck isn't bad. It just needs
Uh-huh.
some work. So, all right,
Yeah. Okay.
what?
Okay.
So
I don't know. Let's take a look
go
at
ahead.
this. So I'm gonna open it
And
up.
if you have the other question is what other decks for to use the new stadium, right, and expand it because that's kind of to me a fun option, right? We have Area Zero to under depths. What decks can we take advantage of for this build? Get our bench built up the way you would with Skyfield Stadium.
Yeah. I feel like you should. Yeah, I definitely think Energy Switch would be like that. That seems good in this deck.
It
Um,
definitely needs. I needs at least 2 copies, maybe more.
mhm. Oh, you don't
Yes,
play any tools. We play Secret Box. Wow. Wow. Um,
it's like playing Arvin and no tools.
exactly.
Like,
No, but yeah, I mean that's like good to get the stadium now. Because right, like before this, I feel like stadiums weren't that good. I mean, like Art Zone and Beach Court, and I'm sure
right.
there were some other stadiums that are like pretty good, but they're also not like super insanely like crucial to any deck or anything like that, unless there's some I'm forgetting, but nothing like crazy.
Well, Pokestop.
Oh, Pokestop, yeah, Pokestop's a good stadium. That is pretty important, but even like the Pokestop decks don't like necessarily play 4. I mean, Area Zero under depth, you're not necessarily playing 4, but I feel like this is another really really good stadium. And then the Pokestop decks are sometimes playing Secret Box as well, so you could put that in. Although Prime Catcher is like really good in Trapagos. I mean, it's just really good, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I think Area Zero under depth is right now the most impactful stadium for the decks that use it. I think, right? I mean, at one point, like Beach Court was really huge for a certain set of decks, the Miraidon decks, basically, or in Lost Zone too, maybe
yeah.
at
I
one
feel
point.
it
I
wasn't
forget,
like
but
I don't know how good was it in Miraidon. Like it
it was
seems
pretty important in Miraidon at one point. I felt like
okay.
it kind of relied on that at a bit, but obviously there's other ways to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to have Area Zero under depths for a deck that's relying on the big bench. So
Yeah.
um,
And
anyway,
then it's
so
always funny, like, because there's a lot of Dragapult and Charizard, so they get these big benches, and then they never fill them, so like it looks super empty, and it's kind of funny.
yeah, I mean, Yeah, they do. I mean, they're probably not playing the stadium though, right? They
No.
just leave it in play when their opponent plays it down.
Yeah. But it just I don't know, it's kind of funny. And then it like shrinks and the game like pauses, even though it like doesn't matter. And then yeah. But anyway.
And then one of the things is if your opponent also concedes before you know they
Oh yeah.
conceded, then shrinks, and also like the game gets all weird, and you're like, what happened to me? And then you realize, oh, they conceded.
Yeah,
It's just
I saw that and I was like, oh, like what's going on? What's going on?
yeah, the live just glitched. So it's just the way the game's written isn't quite. It's not quite
Hmm.
optimally
Yeah. So I
streamlined,
actually
I'd
want to
say.
talk about Dragapult EX now.
Yep.
So Briere's glitched. If you know, it lets you. So I'll read Briere here. You can only use this card if your opponent has exactly two prizes remaining. So I guess you can play if they have two prizes remaining, and then knock yourself out with Dusclops or Dustmore. So that's like good. But
Yes.
then
Yep.
it says during this turn, if your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack used by a Terra Pokemon, take one more prize card. But it also works with Dragapult EX sniping the bench, which shouldn't work
Yeah.
for two reasons. One, it's on the bench, right? It says only the
Right. It's
active.
not the active, which it says.
And then the other thing is it's damage, not damage counters. But I guess two negatives make a positive, so it works. Yeah.
So with Dragapult, if you set up a whole bunch of Pokemon, they could take one extra prize from multiple Pokemon then too on the bench. Like if the 10 damage counters knocks out like each of their bench Pokemon, they're taking, like whatever,
Six
10
extra prizes.
prizes.
Yeah. You can take six extra prize cards in addition to your normal six. Um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. But no, so that card's glitched. I'm pretty sure it's still glitched. I don't know if it still is, but yeah, that's so fun. Have you played Dragapult EX?
I did because I was getting a lot of hype and I was looking for a deck to play, and I was struggling against Dragapult too. You see, I always like you struggle against a deck, so you want to give it a try, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, look, and I like obviously Dragapult EX's attack is very good. I think Fanadive 200 plays 6 damage counters. It's good. I really like Drake Loke's ability. I think it's good. So having a stage two, but that you don't mind having some stage ones, I think that's good.
Yeah. Do you play
Um,
Pidgeot?
I do. Yeah, it's a 2/2 Pidgeot line because with four rare candies. Yeah, as I look
Yeah.
at it. Um, so yeah, and within the list, it does play. I played the Gravity Gemstone,
Okay.
one of the
Have
new
you used
tools.
that? I've seen people like play it online, and then I watched a video on it. Someone and it was like they said that they played it because it allows you to like trap stuff and then like snipe
Yeah,
the bend. But have you used Gravity Gemstone to like
I've
actually do
only
anything?
used it in like I'm gonna lose next turn unless I can get something stuck here, and then my
Has it ever
opponent has
worked?
draws the switch card and I lose. Right.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like it's
So
just like you're kind of doing these Hail Mary situations, which like I don't know. I mean, that's not like I don't know. It seems kind of niche and kind of sketchy.
yeah, I mean, I think if I was tweaking the deck, I think I would get rid of that. There obviously the thought is you get something with over 200 HP, right? Like get one of those 210 Pheasantippities in the active, let's say, stuck there, and then you hit 200 into that and lay 60 on the bench is a pretty good option and sets you up for a big turn the next turn, right? I think that's the thought behind it.
Hmm.
But getting the right pieces, you have, obviously, well, if you get your Pidgeot EX set up, you might be able to do it. But if you're not set up in the first place, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, and then also, as you said, your opponent could just draw like a switch, and then it doesn't like matter. You just lose. So yeah, I
Right.
feel like I don't love that card, but then the big new addition, it does play Crispin, which is a supporter, allowing you to accelerate
Yes.
energies, which is nice. Did you use that like a bunch?
Yeah, I just have one copy in that deck.
Hmm.
Which I mean, because obviously, look, it's a four Arvin deck, and I think I would want to keep that. A second Crispin might not be bad, but yeah, it's good. You search for two at different energies, and so it needs to be a deck with different types of energy if you want to accelerate. Because if you only have one type of energy in your deck, you can't. It stays in your hand, and I've run into that situation at times too. So you got to be aware of like when do you play the rod or not. And if you lose track, it's like, oh, do I need to play the rod before I play the Crispin? I'd rather save the rod. I
Yeah,
should have played it. I don't accelerate my energy. I don't attack. So,
yeah.
but energy acceleration is always good, and this lets you accelerate energy to any Pokemon active bench. So yes, I think it's a good card, and I think I'll figure out more uses for it as time goes on.
Yeah, it's solid. It's only one energy. Like Sada's Vitality accelerates two energy and draws three
Yeah.
cards. Like, it's not super broken. I don't think, but I think it's solid. But then Sparkling Crystal is the big card, which is the tool, which has when the Terra Pokemon this card is attached to use an attack, it costs one less. What are your thoughts on the
Yes.
card? Do you think it's like so that I feel like this is the card that like this is why Dragon Balls getting all the hype, right? So
Yeah, this is the key card. I mean, yeah, new cards. I have those. I think there's no new Pokemon in this list I'm playing, and I play it. The Gravity Gemstone, which is questionable, the Crispin, which is good, but then the Sparkling
yeah.
Crystal,
Oh,
which
do you
this is
play
what
Briere or not?
I do not.
Okay.
You could play that in the deck. I haven't actually played that yet in any of my decks.
Yeah, I haven't used it in a game. I've like seen. I don't even think I've seen anyone use it against me. Maybe like once, but it's like kind of niche in its use cases. And then also you can play around it to a decent extent. Like it does hurt you to play around it, but getting yourself on odd prizes normally a bad thing, but now it actually can be a
Right.
good thing.
I mean, I haven't done Charizard Pidgeot. I assume with that I would play it. Charizard Pidgeot with the Dusknoir, right? Because then you can
Yeah.
control the prizes, and once you have the Pidgeot, you can draw it the turn you need it and such. So I think that deck would play it, but outside of a deck like that, you get a lot less value.
Hmm.
But Sparkling Crystal is very good, right? It's good for this and for other things as well, at least potentially, right? And with Arven being played a lot, it's easy to get tools, generally speaking. So your Terra Pokemon's use attack is for one less energy. Dragapult, that's the big struggle is it's two different energy types, one of each. So now just single attachment, you can, as long as you have just a basic in play, you can evolve it with rare candy, get attach the tool and attach your energy, and you can stream attacks easier. I wasn't able to get as consistent as I would like the Dragapult deck, I will say, but the potential's there, is what I'd say.
Yeah, it definitely has the issues of like a stage two deck where you need your rare candies, and then sometimes you just have completely terrible hands where you don't get
Yeah.
like a setup at all. But I do think it is a very I think it's. I feel like it might be the best deck in the game. I feel like Trapco CX is also super. Like I was playing it, it felt like really good. It felt very consistent and then also quite strong. So honestly, I feel like it's a one of the best decks in the game. Just playing it, as it's the main deck I've been playing. I haven't been playing too many other decks, and it's just a deck I like a lot. Certainly my
Hmm.
main deck now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously Sparkling Crystal with like the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon being able to attack on your first turn, right? With the big attack on
Have you
that
used
is,
that?
I have not. No,
Yeah,
I
I feel like
haven't.
I was kind of thinking about it, but it's kind of awkward. I mean, you need the tool which you can search out, but then you can't really search out the energy.
Right.
So I don't know. And you
I
need a
mean, one of the
switch too,
decks.
probably.
Yeah, I mean, one of the decks I want to do is an Ogerpon box. I've done that in the past, and now with things like Sparkling Crystal and the Area Zero under depths to like potentially to get four Teal Mask Ogerpons if I wanted to and play plus whatever. I definitely want to revisit Ogerpon box with Sparkling Crystal.
Yeah, then that like changes things a bunch because you're playing double turbo energy, which you weren't playing. But well, I guess you don't have to. You could just have the two like accelerate and then like switch it. But that still seems like a little weird. Like a lot of moving pieces then. But it does seem like a
Yeah.
fun like I don't know. The Ogre Pawns I feel like have a lot of untapped potential with Sparkling Crystal.
Yeah, look, I don't. It's like I said, it's something I want to start taking a look at some point. So, I'm one of the few people that have played Ogerpon box in the past. I don't know that you
Yeah,
ever tried it, did
I
you?
have, yeah. It's not
Okay.
great. I feel like I mean it's kind of bad.
No, it'll be a little better now. I'm not sure how good it will be exactly, but
Hmm.
it's fun. So, all right, can I talk about a couple decks here that have that take advantage of Area Zero under depth?
Yeah.
Does
Just
that
one.
work for?
Did you cover all your expanded decks or?
Yeah, I did. I just had the two decks, and then yeah. So at some point, I need to come up with some other ideas for expanded. I think I want to start making more expanded videos, and I do enjoy. I've started playing the format a little more the last week or two, and there's decent decks here. It's not just bad decks. So I've enjoyed it probably more than standard play in general lately.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I feel like expanded is like I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's kind of relaxing. It's not exactly relaxing.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird, but I feel like it's not that far from being something really cool.
yeah. I mean, look, obviously live needs to get better. The cards need to work better. They need to work. Period. But I think if there could be the rank ladder for expanded, I think it would be good. It would get more serious attention, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Which I
I don't like the rank ladder. I've said this before. I think the rank ladder is made live like a little more toxic. I feel like people, like I was getting frustrated grinding to Arceus a little. People are toxic. Um, they like you're about to win, like I'm about to win, and then my opponent like slow plays and then like quits, and
Yeah.
it's like okay, that's kind of annoying. And that happens like a lot. And so it's kind of toxic, and I don't know. I think it's because of the rank ladders. Like maybe if I get them really annoyed, they'll quit, or if I slow play, like they'll like, or I don't know. It's just like kind of toxic. It's not like super horrible, but it's not great. But I
Yeah.
do agree, like if more people played Expand, it would be better. I think there might not be like much of a matchmaking system. Like most of the decks are just kind of, I don't know, they're not like super great decks. They don't need to be like super like best decks in the format, but
Right.
um, they're like not really expanded caliber decks. I feel like that's how I describe it.
Correct. And part of it, obviously, tournaments don't exist, so you can't find deck lists outside of content creators, right?
Hmm.
To get so you're on your own. Everyone's on their own to develop things, which is it's kind of fun in a way, but it's a lot of work too, right? And it's it's a very much a mishmash. And I don't really play the standard casual ladder area. I assume you don't do that either, right?
No, no. If I test, I guess I test against the AI. I mean, it's like kind of terrible. The AI, they like deck themselves out turn three, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll do casual to test at times, right? If I have, especially like the ladder reset, the rank ladder, I've been playing some weird decks, so didn't make progress. But at some point, I'll want to make progress up to get to Arceus again, and at that point, I'll either play more. If I do videos, I'll do expanded stuff, or I'll mostly test out my decks in casual more thoroughly. Once
Mhm.
I'm in Arceus, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. But yeah, what other decks do you have for Era Zero Underdepth? You said the
All right,
one. You said the Reggie's deck, so I want to hear
the
about that.
Reggie's. So Reggie's, I did that a little. It didn't go well.
Hmm.
Um, and I play the Terra Pokemon. I slide the slot in where the Wellspring Mask and the I mean, yeah, Wellspring Mask and the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpons.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think which makes sense, and they can attack. So I was in plus the Reggies, right? And then I play the mix of energy, playing Legacy Energy to help cover the energy types, just
Are
because it's
those your only
basically
Pokemon?
yeah, I have
I'm,
eight
I'm saying
different
only
Pokemon.
like that's not like a lot of Pokemon, but
I mean, there's 14 total Pokemon. There's two of each of the Reggies, and then one of each of the Ogerpons.
yeah, I feel like the cool thing with the Reggies with the stadium is that it lets you have like other Pokemon in play. Um,
Yeah, I didn't do that yet. And you're correct about that. But the other part of the challenge is just to get Reggies to be consistent, because I've never found Reggies to be as consistent as I'd like
you
either.
could put in Radiant Greninja to draw cards.
That's true. That's a good thought.
I was like thinking about that, and that's because you can't play it, but you couldn't really play it before, because then, I mean, once you got Radiant Greninja in play, you can't get all your Reggies in play.
Right.
But now you can do that. But you need to be careful. As you said, you need a spot for your um, actual,
Ogerpon.
yeah, your Ogerpon. So you need to be
Right. So
careful.
you have turns where you want to okay, to attack this turn, I need to play down my six Reggie. I didn't get my Ogerpon, or I have my Ogerpon, but I don't have my Stadium. So if I play on my Ogerpon, I can't, I to attack this turn, I need to not get the big bench going, which makes things tricky. So I didn't quite. So some of it's just how to play the deck situation, right? Which I didn't give it enough attention to figure that out, and how to build the deck. I kind of took my old Reggie's list and did some modest tweaks, I'd say, but it needs more attention to it. I still think it has potential. I was never a Reggie's fan, though. Honest, I will say. So it's going to be hard for me to make it work well, just because never really gelled with Reggie's that much. I don't think you did either.
No, I don't know. There were some times where I thought it was like fun. And I played it. I'm not like the biggest. I mean, it's kind of bad, right? The deck's like very inconsistent. It's
Yeah.
for the fact that it's an all basic deck, it's like really inconsistent. I mean, it's probably one of the most inconsistent decks in the game because I'm here trying to do all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it probably. Well, when you say that, Lugia to me is like the deck, like to me the poster child for inconsistent decks. But Lugia's upside is huge, right? Reggie's upside is good, but Lugia's upside is definitely better. I would say. So,
Well, yeah, well, if you're trying to do Reggies with like other attackers, that might
yeah,
have a higher upside. But also, like you could do like Reggies to Alchemy-Star or something like that. But
yeah. So I gotta yeah. So having another attacker or two. But obviously, the more pieces you get in the deck, the less consistent you get too, right?
mhm.
So that which is part of the struggle. right? To find consistency and not consistency, right? How much do you or variety versus
Yeah,
consistency?
I like not consistency. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
well, yeah, so do I. So, the other deck, which unless do you want to say anything else about Reggie's?
Um, no, I mean you could play it with Galvantula EX. I guess I heard someone like say that. I feel like that's
Okay,
like really bad because Galvantula EX is like kind of mediocre. It'll eventually get knocked out, and then also that's an evolution. In the evolution is the Terra, so then you probably want another Terra,
right.
and then it's like a big mess. But yeah. Oh, also I did play Galvantula EX with Blissey EX, which we might talk about later. Yeah, let's talk about that
Yeah,
later
let's
probably.
talk because I played that as well.
Oh,
I
you did?
played
Okay.
Galvantula with Blissey, and there's some really nice things about it, but
There are.
it was very problematic. Well, let me just say the really good thing, and that is Joltik is really that attack is pretty amazing, right? Jolting charge for
Oh,
one
I wasn't
energy.
really using that much, but I guess it's good.
Well, I never when I played the deck, that there's a lot of stage 2 decks, right? And you can item
Yeah,
lock, right? That's the great thing. And I played a bunch of games, and I played a bunch of games against Dragapult and Charizard, and they won the coin toss and went first every time.
hmm
Every time. So by the time on turn 2, I could item lock them, but they had already evolved.
Yeah.
And so the game was essentially over. And I couldn't, I was maybe,
I mean, if
I
they
was in,
can attack, like, I don't know. I mean, Charizard EX can attack, but Dragapult X, well, it's probably attacking too. But yeah, no,
if they're
Dragapult's pretty
attacking me
bad because they
first,
like destroy your Joltex
the
as well.
bench. Right. They take the Joltex, right? Because if at the point that they're gonna because they two shot me and I two shot no I don't two shot them or
Yeah.
do I?
No, yeah, you do. You
Yeah.
two-shot them with both attacks.
Yeah. So I two shot them, but if they attack first, which is what they do if they go first, right now then what I'm gonna have to do is like on one turn they're gonna knock on my Galvantula. I have to play down all my other 3 Joltex in order to have an attacker the following
Yeah.
turn.
But you still might not have an attacker if they gust up putting the Joltex.
And even if I've survived the attack, even if one of my Joltex survives, I've given up 4 prizes because they took out my Galvantula and 2 of my Joltex.
Well,
So
they've also hit another Pokemon, so they might have taken. Well, they might have taken 6 prizes. They might have lost
right,
the
that
game by then.
assumes they didn't take any prizes yet, right? So on the third turn, they're taking 4 prizes, and then I just the deck didn't go well for me because I just felt like I had to win the coin toss. But look, because I was going second mostly. Joltik accelerating 4 energies, very very nice.
Yeah, I think Galvantula EX's first attack is like solid. I mean, you're not attacking with a second attack that often, so or I wasn't at least, because you use Glass Trumpet, right?
Yeah, I play 4 glass trumpets in the deck
So you use that
that
to
I have.
accelerate to Blissey EX, then you move the energy. Did you play the Stadium?
I believe. No, I didn't play the stadium. I
Okay.
played a couple of Artisan. Is what I played.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't play the Stadium. I didn't play any Stadium, but
I did play the Power Glass
yeah.
tool
No, I also have Pegasus. I got it like off of online somewhere. Um,
and Crispin of the new cards to help accelerate energy. I assume you had the
yeah,
Crispin as
yeah.
well.
Power Glass is not. Yeah, it's not a brand new card, but pretty new.
Oh, it's not. Okay, I didn't.
Shrouded Fable. Yeah, Power Glass is a card from Shrouded Fable, which I also thought it was like a new card, but I was like, wait, no, that's been out for a little while, and no one played
Okay.
it because, I mean, I don't know, some
Mm,
people probably played it. It's an okay card. It's kind of like, it almost like functions kind of like EXP share, I guess, but not exactly.
But
Like if
on
you're
your
not getting
active,
knocked out, um,
right, your active Pokemon can't get knocked out. Otherwise, it's no good.
mhm.
So, but yeah, I mean, it obviously has value in some other things too, right? It was probably getting ignored a little bit more than it should.
Yeah, you could play it in like Reggie Draco. I don't know. It's like it's pretty niche. Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean the Wellspring Mask, Ogerpon,
Wait, what?
maybe.
No,
I
that
mean
doesn't
the
discard it though.
what's that?
That doesn't discard unless you're talking about some other card.
If we accelerate a basic to it, right? Well, the
Yeah,
one
wait,
you
what are you talking about?
the one you discard the energies, the water one. Did I say the right? That hits the bench as well as
No,
the active.
Wellspring Master Ogerpon EX. I believe shuffles the energy into your deck.
Okay, so
Because
but
then you can like, because
it's
if you play in Lugia, you can get the Legacy energy back.
okay, but you don't need that legacy energy. You could just get N energy back onto it, so you could attack again, right?
Yeah,
If
but only if
you could
you have some in this card.
right, but you could play Radiant Greninja or discard it some other way.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, obviously it's made for Galvantula's second attack where you discard all the energy from the Pokemon, right? So then you can get one of the energies back on And then with Blissey, you could swing it. You could swing one from Blissey to the active and attach to get the big, or you just attach one energy and do the first attack the second turn.
Yeah. But I think it's like an okay Pokemon. I played a few games and it seemed okay, just like mediocre. I don't think Regigi's a solution, but it was kind of fun, but also kind of it was janky and didn't like quite work.
I mean, in theory, right, doing 180 and item lock is tremendous if you could do it, right? And with the different trainers they've printed, it's possible to stream attacks on it, right?
Mhm.
Um, but my experience was, like I said, I kept losing the coin toss, so it honestly felt like even if I could pull off that consistently, which is a bit of a reach, I didn't have the ability to win games still
Yeah.
because my opponent was setting up their their Dragapult on their second turn and starting to just take me apart.
Yeah. But anyway, so I don't think Galvantula is gonna be the new best deck. I think it's a bit of a ways from like a super good deck.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see down the road what things come for, right? There's got to be more. The Stellars are coming in more sets in the future, right? Which means
Yes.
so I assume we'll get some more trainers and stuff designed for the Stellars as well.
Yeah, there's a card that just searches for stellar Pokemon, or no, it searches for a Terra Pokemon, which is kind of cool, an item. Yeah.
So there might be some more energy acceleration down the road as well. And this is a lightning Pokemon. You can obviously accelerate to the bench with generator as an option as well, if that's something you want to try to do
hmm
and pull things off.
Yeah, I kind of like the combo of Blissey EX Glass Trumpet. I feel like that's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something. I think that's a nice combo for a number of things probably.
Yeah, so I decided to
So
make a Blissey like box deck, which I played like once. I don't think I made a video on it, but it's Blissey EX. It's got the water and the fighting ogre pond. It's got Raging Bolt EX.
okay.
It's got Trap Ghost EX, Luxray V, Mew EX, Radiant Greninja, and Weirdier V, with the
Hmm.
four glass trumpets and the Blissey EX, which I thought was like kind of funny.
In
I
the
think
Forest Seal Stone, then, since you have the V, or
yeah,
no?
yeah, that's why I had both those Vs, Luxray V
Okay.
and Weirdier V. So I don't know. It seems like kind of fun. There's no engine. Well, there's Radiant Greninja, but I don't know. It seems like a fun concept. I don't know if it's any good, but kind of fun.
Yeah, and I'm still an Arceus fan, so at some point Arceus V Star with Glass Trumpet as a way to try things out.
Yeah, that could be all right. I feel like you don't really need that much energy acceleration. Like you have a lot with Arceus.
Once
So
you're
once
set
you,
up, yeah.
yeah. I also haven't played any of the control stuff. I want to, well, that's not entirely true. I played a tiny bit of Salazzle, but not much. I want to play some more. I think Salazzle's really good. I think the Boufflant idea with the old Boufflant and the new Boufflant seems good. And yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you haven't done. Yeah, I haven't really done control. I haven't done Snorlax yet, which is always recently like one of the first things I try out. What new toys is gives a Snorlax? Obviously, I guess the tool that increases retreat cost. Well, I'm not sure. You don't necessarily need that though.
Yeah, you
With
could put it on like your Rotom V maybe, like because people try to. Well, I don't know. You probably have Force Stone, but if you don't, or if you have like a Mimikyu, you could put it there so
right,
they aren't able to gust around the Snorlax and then just retreat for free or whatever. Oh, I
right,
did
with
try.
Mimikyu, the Ogerpon, something like that, to the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, things like that to attach it to. I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, do you have any other decks you want to specifically talk about?
I mean, I did play Iron Thorns though with I had one new card, which was not much. So
Wh-
I slapped a Crispin in it,
okay, yeah.
I believe.
Wait,
So
what energy do you
no,
play?
not that. Well, but this was I also included
Oh
the
yeah.
Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon and the Mimikyu, which you mocked me for. But that means I have the basic energies for all the three different basic energies. So Crispin, which does allow you to be large. You can power up any of your attackers in one turn, with potential. Assuming you get the cards in hand you need. That
Yeah.
is
How
so.
good was that deck? That seems really annoying, but
It wasn't bad actually. That's I think that might be the deck I grind the ladder with. We'll see. All right, right
yeah.
now it's got promise for that. So basic deck it gets going quickly. It's super annoying with quad thorns. I'm able to I think get an iron thorns in the active spot probably 75% of the time or something, which is what you want to do to start the game. So it's not a bad deck at all.
I feel like that's hard to beat like Dragapult with that though, because they have the Draco just knock
Yes.
out the Mimikyu, and then they have Well, I mean, and then the Dragapult EX is going to be hitting through. Well, it could also snipe the Mimikyu, but Dragapult EX will be knocking out your Thorns EX and your Cornerstone Master Ogre Pawn EX.
No, Dragapult's not going to be good, and there is a lot of Dragapult now, so that makes things difficult. I would say
Yeah.
is all I can say
Yeah, I definitely think it's
on
really
that.
like there aren't too many decks that seem super good against Dragapult. So you could like play Tex and stuff, but yeah. Anyway, so then the
So
other.
there's one other deck I want to talk
Okay.
about. So let me just talk. And this is the one video I made, and this is a Terapagos deck with the stadium, which wants the big bench. And this is one of the ones I was excited about. And the deck is better than I thought, although I've got to refine
Wait,
the
what's
list.
the deck?
And this is Hisuian Zorak V Star,
Ah, okay.
which and then you play the Fan Rotom, which I knew would be good, but then I realized not only do you get your Doduo, you can also get your Dodrio with it.
Yeah. Do you play Noctowl
So
or not?
I do not.
Okay.
Because the idea is for me, I want to get four Dodrios down.
Uh-huh.
Um, of course, then I got into like a Frostlass matchup. Is all I seemed to hit when I played that.
I mean,
Things have
Dragapult
not
also
gone
can't
well
be that
for
good
me.
for you either.
Yeah, I mean, I just every time I played a deck, I ran into like the counter
Yeah, that's
because
why I
like with
played Trapghost. Trapghost is good. I mean, it's not good against like Greninja EX. I had a comment. So I was like, this deck like loses to Greninja EX, which it does, I guess. I don't even know if it's like that bad against it though, because Greninja EX is kind of hard to set up. But yeah, Trapghost. I think it's my favorite deck right now. So it's good.
right. And Terapagos isn't a bad attacker. Also in the Zoroark deck, you can attack with that obviously. Although and you play the double turbo, so you can do either if you need if you can't evolve, if you don't have a V in play, you can attack with Terapagos. But also, Dojo is very good, and because you have the big bench now, I don't mind getting down a bunch of Gengars, right? So I can build up, I can go very quickly to a full damage bench. I now I slotted four Gengars in the deck, which I wouldn't do in the past because there's no way I could consider playing three even in the past. But now I could slap three into play in mid game and get benefit from it. So I think it's got a lot of potential as a deck. And like I said, the Fan Rotom really helped the setup going. So I think it's got some good things going. Now the big changes I'm playing before it was a four Gape Draw Bog deck, and then I didn't play Nest Ball myself or Buddy Buddy Poffin because getting the damage was so big. But now I'm also playing. I play two Gape Jaw Bogs, but
Oh, you
three
do
Area
play
Zero.
Gape Shaw Bog still? Okay.
I do because it has value, but maybe I need to tweak it. See, I'm doing too many right now. I have too many things. It's two Gape Jaw Bogs and three Area Zero under depths. Before I was playing like Ultra Ball and just Great Ball because I didn't want things that went onto the bench immediately. But now I slotted in because in a Nest Ball and a Buddy Buddy Poffin because if I have Area Zero under depths, getting them into play that way is a good thing. So it's kind of a funny deck right now. It's doing too many things, is what I'll say.
Yeah, the list I have here, it plays Noctowl and Dodrio. I did play it like a few games. The one
Okay.
really good thing about Gengar, in addition to what you said, is with Area Zero Underdepths, your opponent might be bumping it, and then you just get rid of your Gengars, maybe you get rid of
Right.
something else, but you can get rid of your Gengars and then instantly play the stadium back down and then get all the Gengars back, and they still have damage on them, maybe more than they had to start with, which is probably a good thing. And yeah, that feels really good when they bump that stadium, which will happen some.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that definitely happened. I was pleased, and also you want to generally get down the Fan Rotom turn one, and as long as because I do play the damage pump, so as long as I get a damage kind of Fan Rotom, it's sitting on the bench, but it's not actually hurting the deck. So other decks, the Fan Rotom becomes a liability over time. This deck, it's more neutral, and I play a couple Jet Energy, which means besides the Dodrios, like it does help with the Fan Rotom attack at some point in the game as well.
Yeah. What do you mean liability? Like it just doesn't like do anything?
Yeah, I mean, if you need like the deck where you're using it to set up, your engine after the first turn, you really do want the Fan Rotom out of play,
Yeah, I
right?
mean that's the same thing with Noctowl as well. Which actually I feel like Noctowl, I don't know, I don't love the design of Noctowl. Like his Fan Rotom does have the
Yeah,
attack, which you can use Noctowl. I might make a whole video talking about this. Like its stats are so mediocre. Like it's not so bad that it's actively like your opponent's boss trapping its retreats only one, so they're not like going to boss trap it. They could, but it's not like insane. And its attack isn't like if it is stuck in the active 60 for 2 isn't like completely unusable, but it's not good either. It's not something you ever want to use. 100 HP isn't like tanky or weak. It's not like super weak on the bench. Not something you want to be leaving the active to tank a hit. And I don't know. I feel like its stats are so middle of the road that it's like super boring. I wish it I don't know, like had um something. I don't know. But
Well, and that's partly why I'm going to make an argument for Dodrio, which I think the fan roton helps Dodrio a lot. And Dodrio is good over the course of the game, whereas Noctowl, you're right, in 60, but it's two energy. So you're either taking two turns or you're attaching a double turbo and doing 40, right? None of that's great.
yeah, I mean its ability is like
Um,
super good. Dodrio's ability just draws you one card. It does damage itself, which is good, and it like is an okay attacker. I feel like it's I mean you need three damage counters to be better than Fan Rotom, which is definitely
yes.
doable, especially as the game goes on. But and like you can be hitting solid damage. You're not like really one-shotting two prizes, or are you? I mean you can, but like it seems hard to do that.
You can get there eventually. Obviously, generally, you're attacking with the Zorak, right?
Hmm.
With the deck. The problem why I didn't do the Noctowl, while it's a good idea, it's just now I need another stage one and a basic. And how's the setup and consistency going to be, right? At some point, it just gets too hard to make it happen consistently. So I'm not sure. But look, the Fan Rotom, because it searches for up to 100 HP Pokemon, back when we had level ball, 90 HP was the magic number. Now for basics, it's been the 70 HP, but now we have 100 HP. So we have a new number to think about, which we need to consider, which obviously the Dodrio fits that exactly. There probably are some other colorless Pokemon that deserve some attention as well, is kind of what I'm getting at as
Maybe. I
well.
mean like Noctowl was good. Dodrio's like solid. Excuse me. And then like Bidoof, Barrel is not searchable with it, but Bidoof is, Pidgey is.
Right.
So I feel like there's like a lot of really good colors engines. I mean, all that good engines for the R colorless. So I feel like, I don't know, Phantom Rotom is good, but like the stuff it's obviously good with, it seemed like the main one.
Well, it was built for Noctowl, right? I don't think it's a coincidence they came out together, but I think it can work with things besides Noctowl, right?
Yeah,
Just keep
but
that
I
in
feel
mind.
like you want to use it with something like Barrel, Scovet, Noctowl, maybe Dodrio or Pidgeot. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like you don't want to expand too much beyond those. I mean, maybe there is something that's good. There are like some fun low HP colorless Pokemon like Ditto, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I haven't played Ditto
I,
yet either. Or no, I played a little
I,
bit, but not much.
Okay. I mean, the question I have, and I haven't looked at it, and I've got to find the right website to do it, but what 100 HP stage one Pokemon, or even, I don't know if there's any 100, there are
Yeah,
probably a few
colorless
100
stage
HP,
one Pokemon.
right. There probably might be a few basics, but mostly the stage ones. What's out there, right? Because they never get attention. I probably haven't thought about them either. So, is there something that has a little bit of potential now that
Yeah, I
didn't
feel like there's
before?
like not really. I mean, it's only one turn in the game as well, so
Yeah.
it's not something that's like going to be long lasting and like really good. I mean, it could be good, but it's probably not going to be really good throughout the course of the game. Um, and I'm
Yeah.
just like flipping through stuff. I don't see anything that really catches my eye. That's like particularly. I mean, there are good cards here, but I don't know. Like there's this Lickitung that does 70 for three colorless, and during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't attack, which I don't think is a terrible card. Hit a Charizard EX, and then they're like kind of sitting there like, what do I do now? Um,
Right.
and then like a lot have 110 HP. So that's a little bit awkward. It doesn't quite work.
Right.
And there's the P-Dove, which is a card which you can use a Gape Drop bug. Anyway, they're like most of these things aren't great. Like Porygon 2 with garbage attack. Radiant Eevee here. We got of course you have stuff like Skwovet, but then yeah, there aren't like there's Spinda, there's I don't know. Most of these like it just aren't that good.
Yeah. I mean, there might not be anything there, right? But, it's just another thing to think about, right? To me, it's nice when the game gives us a different something to consider that we haven't had to consider. 100 HP Pokemon were never really haven't really been a thing, or at least not in a long time, to consider 100 being as important number. So, um, you know, just consider that. So, and obviously for expanded, I'm sure there's more options there, right? If we want to look at that.
Yeah. Any other decks? Or is that the last one?
No, that's it for. I think we hit all the decks that I've played. So
Yeah.
you could kind of see why I haven't won a lot of games.
Yeah. No, I've also played a few other decks. I played a game of Garganacl EX that was pretty terrible. I played a
Okay.
couple of Salazzle decks. They weren't particularly good, though I haven't really developed them yet. I played Hydrapple EX. That was okay. Not great, but okay. I played Cinderace EX. That was actually pretty fun. I only played like one or two games. Actually, like I misplayed or misclicked. I accidentally like played Magma Basin when I like didn't mean to, but That was still fun. And I did do a little bit of Ditto stuff. And there are some other decks that I still want to try out, but I
Yeah.
definitely think this set's pretty fun. It's probably my favorite set. Um, might be my favorite set of the Scarlet and Violet era. I'm not entirely sure, but before this expansion, I didn't really have a deck that was like my main deck, but now I feel like Trapghost is going to be that deck for me.
Okay. Look, one of the nice things, I think it brought some nice things to the game. I also don't, but they didn't give a deck. I don't think Tropicos is overpowered, though. I don't think it's going to beat everything else. And I don't like, a lot of times there's one deck that kind of, like when Charizard EX came out, it was the deck, right? So I'm glad there's not the deck in this set, too.
Yeah, I feel like the deck, like type of decks though. Well, Trapghost is like the deck, but it's not like, I think it might be like I think it's definitely a top 10 deck, but like Charizard DX I think was good when it came out. I'm gonna quickly look. I don't have it pulled up, but I mean I don't think it was like super broken. I feel like with the Scarlet and Violet era they've done a better job balancing it versus the Sword and Shield era. Like every set had a deck that was like by far the best deck in the game. So I feel like it's been okay.
It's
Some of the decks have been
okay.
like pretty overwhelming feeling, but I feel like they haven't been like super bad for the game or anything like that. And certainly you can play the old decks as well.
Right. No, yeah, with Scarlet and Violet, I do think that the designers, the card designers, game designers are doing a better job than previously, right? I mean, the whole thing from Mew to Arceus to Palkia, it's like, it kind of felt like they want you to just put all your old cards in a box and just buy the new set, right? Which wasn't great.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I think that's all for today's podcast. All right.
Yep,
And
I
we
do.
hope you enjoyed the podcast. Comment down below on our YouTube channels if you're there. If you have ideas you want us to talk about in the future. And you can also check out other videos. We both made some content on Stellar Crown, including last podcast and other things. But we hope you enjoyed. Check us out on YouTube or on other podcasting platforms like Spotify or the
Yeah,
Apple one.
Amazon, the Apple, yeah, Google, where we should be on all the big ones out there.
Yeah, but we hope you enjoyed it, and as always, we're excited to see you in the next episode.
All right, take care.